Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Unlock Real Estate Profit. Today, we are going to go through over the 7 baby step to help busy professional invest in real estate. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my episode. This is today. I'm so excited to share with you kind of a guide for specifically for busy professional. I know that I used to be an engineer before too, so I understand that some of you really want to invest in real estate and start becoming uh, mm, creating the generational wealth. However, you are too busy with your day-to-day job, right? If you are an engineer, if you are a doctor, if you are a nurse, pharmacist, right? You're very busy. Or you can be an hourly worker. You are also busy. You also have to be on the line in the manufacturing line to be. So how can you focus on real estate investing, right? So that you can create generational wealth, right? So today I am happy to share with you this 7 baby steps to buy your first investment property. So that is the main topic for today. And now this baby step is designed for investors who are newer, professional who are new to real estate investing, right? So if you have already have some experience, or maybe you already have plenty of properties in place, this webinar may not be for you. But if you have like less than 10 properties, perhaps you can get some benefit from this webinar. So stay tuned as we go through the baby steps on how you again get your first rental property and for only 5% down. Okay, so the very first step that we are going to talk about is saving 1,000. All right, why 1,000 though? Like 1,000 not even enough to buy anything. In nowadays, right, with the inflation go high, I mean, you can probably fill up your gas for 2 months, right? But for 1,000, why is it 1,000? Now, first of all, you have to agree with me that owning a home, when you become a homeowner, you have a lot of responsibility along with that, along with the house, right? You have to have the maintenance throughout the house. You have to clean up the house. You have to provide maintenance for a lot of things, appliances, AC, and then you have to make the monthly mortgage payment. So owning a house, of course, you have the benefit of having a house. However, you also take into a lot of responsibility. And this very first step right here is an easiest step for you to obtain the first responsibility, right? You're responsible for yourself. You make sure that you are able to save 1,000. If only 1,000 that you cannot save, then don't think about owning a house. Then don't think about buying a rental property, because this is very easy, straightforward, and you just simply calculate the monthly budget, the monthly income that you have, and the monthly expense that you have, and take out how much time does it take you to save 1,000. It's probably 1 month for a couple of people, but it could be a couple months for a couple of people. But because of the key characteristic of the homeowners is responsibility. Therefore, it is best for you to obtain that a very first step, which is very easy to save 1,000. So that is the whole purpose of the saving 1,000 right here. It's not for the purpose of buying a house, obviously, but to prove to you that you have a good characteristic of a homeowner. Okay, like I said, if 1,000 and then you can never be able to do that, so then don't think about it, because you have to make the monthly payments. Okay, so if you are not be able to responsible for yourself, for your financial situation, how can you commit to such a big loan? How can you commit to such a big mortgage for your primary home and for your investment homes, right? So 1,000 is critical, and that is the very first step that we have to do. Right? Now, just by the way, a lot of information here. I mean, I know some of the audience, you may already like having one or two houses already. So you may not have to do this, right? If you already have a couple homes in hand, right, and just want to learn more of the concept, so you can stay, but probably some of the steps may not be applicable to you, right? And if it is not, just skip this step. Let's go to the next step right here. Pay off the bad debt, okay? So pay off the bad debt. So there's two different type of debt. Bad debt, and of course the opposite is good debt, right? Why is it bad? Bad meaning it's create liability for you. When you, for example, when you use a credit card, right, to buy some clothes, you make a commitment to the lender, to the bank, that you are going to pay back. But the problem with that is when you're using your credit card, you think you have the enough money to pay back, but you may not, right? So you end up maybe buying one clothes, one shirt, and then you have to spend 2 months to pay off that credit card balance, for example, right? So that is the bad debt. Okay, those debts could last longer than intended, right? I mean, if you have cash, if you have debit card, you can pay right away, and then you don't have to worry about payback in the future time. Okay, now it doesn't mean that you have to. I'm not saying that all the debt is bad, right? And obviously, we are going to talk about houses right now with only 5% debt. So the remaining 95% is coming from the mortgage, and that is also a debt. But it is considered a mortgage. I would consider it is a good debt. Okay, why is it good? Because it creates some potential for profit in the future, right? Because as you know, all the homes is for sale. As you know, all the home is gonna be appreciated over the long time. Oops, sorry about this. All the home gonna be appreciated for a long time when you look at the long term, for maybe like 5 years, 10 years, right? So it's appreciated and it's make more money in the future for you. Okay, now that is not the purpose of today conversation, but that probably may be another topic in another time. But today, let's focus on the second number step. If you do want to hear more about the difference between good debt and bad debt, or which one you consider good, which one you consider bad, why mortgage is a good debt, feel free to make a comment below, and I will be more than happy to reach out to you. Okay, but the second step is paying off debt. Bad debt. Okay, if you have the capability to pay off good debt, feel free to do so as well. But the most important is bad debt, especially credit cards, student loans, car loans. Those are the bad debts. Okay, for example. Now the reason is that when you buy a house, you probably take on a mortgage, right? And then they're gonna calculate income to debt ratio. The less amount of debt you have on a monthly basis, the higher the debt to income. The lower the debt to income ratio, and therefore you're gonna be more likely to be approved for the loan. Which also the lower the debt to income ratio, by the way, also give you the benefit of the interest rate can be lower than other people on the same person, same financial situation, but has a higher debt to income ratio. So this is the key right here. Another kind of responsibility characteristic, right? Because after you save 1,000, you show that you're worth it to become a homeowner, right? And the next step is to get rid of some of the unnecessary debt so that you can use your credit toward a better debt, which is the mortgage in the future. Okay, that's step number 2. Step number 3 is to save for 5% down. Okay, so this step right here could take a long time. It's quite a short time. Yeah, some people might ask for family assistance, right? Or maybe some people can inherit the money, but the rest of the people may not be in that lucky situation, and therefore they have to work to save the money themselves. Okay, 5% is what you need. Okay, I know that some program can offer zero down, like a VA loan, or 3.5%, or even 3% for an FHA loan. However, though, I would recommend 5%. it's good for you in terms of interest rate, and you're gonna be in a better debt to income ratio as well. I think 5%, and also it doesn't take you forever to buy your first house. Okay, if you have the capability to save for more than five, sure, go ahead and do that. Of course, if you say, okay, I can save 10% down, but it's gonna take me 30 years, then don't do that, right? For 5% down, for the intent is that it's high enough to get rid of the problem with interest rate, but it also not too high so that you can within maybe a year or two that you can do that. For example, if you buy a house at $400,000, 20,000 is what you need. If you want to buy a house at $500,000, 25,000 is what you need. Okay. Now, uh, that is the 5% for the down payment. Okay. So based on the calculation, now this one you probably ask me question. Hey, if I never buy a house, how do I know how much I can buy? Should I? What is the target there? So a good real estate agent could give you some recommendation. Okay, you can just tell them the characteristic of the house that you're looking for, and you can tell them the location that you ideal for you, and they should be able to give you, okay, with this type of characteristic, what kind of price range that you should be looking for. For example, like if you say you buy a house in Chandler, 3 bedrooms, like 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, with one single story garage, right? 1990s build, you build, okay, then they can come up, okay, maybe around 450 is your price range. Okay, if you're looking for maybe in Buckeye area, okay, then you probably have a lower price, maybe around 400. Okay, so based on that recommendation, you can say, okay, how much is the 5%? Okay, you don't have to not wasting to talk to the lender or not wasting to talk to anyone looking for a house if you don't even have the down payment. All right, if you notice, the step one, two, and three are the very it build up the responsibility in you, right? One, create 1,000 saving. Two, pay off the bad debt, and three is saving for the 5% debt. All three steps is very basic. They build up the not only build up the responsibility in you, but also at three critical steps to prepare for the next one, which is buy a primary home. Some of you might think, hey, wait a minute, Law, I thought you want to talk about rental property. Okay, there is a reason for that. My recommendation is that for new investor, okay, for someone who never bought a home before, don't buy a rental property. That's my recommendation. Okay, because if you don't have, if you never have any experience with buying a house, for me, there's no reason that you have to buy an investment property. I know some of the idea that you can buy investment property and you can have some cash flow and you can start appreciate it, have some build up some equity of the house, and the sooner you start, the better, right? But buying a house is not a shirt. Buying a house is not a stock that you can buy and then you can sell quickly, right? Buying a house, like I said, when you own a house, you come up with responsibility as well with that house, right? So if you never have any experience with buying a home, especially your primary home, then you are not at the level that you can buy rental property yet. Buying a primary home first gonna give you extremely good experience so that you know what the home buying process looks like in general, how the home buyers, how other home buyers go through the process. What do you need to do? What kind of qualification that you need? How do you make an offer? How do you negotiate on price? How do you negotiate on inspection? How do you negotiate if you have the appraiser? Right? All of those. I mean, yes, yeah, you really want to have an investment property, but ideally, owning a primary home first give you those experience. And when you buy a primary home, you don't have to worry about whether it's profitable or not, right? Because as long as it's a fair market price for you, as long as it's a good house that you or your spouse, if you have any, like, then it's a good area. It's a good property for you. You don't have to worry about profits, which we're gonna talk about that in the future. Next step, Okay, when you really buy an investment property, we're gonna worry about profit later on. Okay, but as of right now, just buy a primary home. That's my recommendation. Now, of course, I know the audience. Some of you may already have like, you already have the primary home, or you already buy like 3 or 4 primary home. So obviously, the first 4 steps, don't worry about that, right? Don't worry about the first 4 steps because you already go through the process. The reason why I want to focus on here is that for the newer person, for the person who never own a house, who for a professional who very busy with working and never be able to have a chance to buy their own house. They keep renting out, right? They keep renting. Some of the arguments say renting is more benefit. I don't think so, right? If you, but that is not in scope of this meeting, of this conversation right here. But we're gonna talk about that later on too. If anyone interested in talking about that, feel free to put a comment, and I will be able to talk to you about that. Okay. So after you buy an investment, I'm sorry, after you buy a primary home in, okay, the next step is to share a room, right? Right. So probably one of the condition and one of the criteria in step 4 is to have more amount of maybe to have a different sections. Maybe you have to look for a house, an area of a house that have an area that you can share out. Okay. Now this is critical because first of all, when you buy a primary home, right, in step 4, you only need 5% down that you need in step 3, that you did in step 3, right? You don't have to spend crazy amount, 20% for investment home, which some of you may have a really difficult time to save up to 20,000. I'm sorry, to 20%. Okay? When in step 5, okay, you share out a room, an area. So an area of the house, it could be an Airbnb. You could share a room in a long-term basis as well, right? You can do that for the purpose of getting more cash in a monthly basis, a little bit extra, so that you can save up for the future house, right? And then that also not in addition to the money that you get on a monthly basis, you can also gaining experience with checking on potential tenants, right? Because when you share a room, you probably have to go through the process of how do you know that person is good? Is that a friend of a friend? Is that someone completely stranger, right? Yeah, you have to check credit. You have to sign a contract. You have to deal with the problem day to day that they may have. All right, when they live in the same house with you, the future tenants for your investment home can be have some kind of similar problem as well. So these are the 2 benefits of sharing a room. Number 1 is to get extra income, of course, but number 2 also is to have more experience in becoming a landlord, which is the ideal goal for you in the future, right? So that is step number 5. And from step number 5 to step number 6, it probably take a long time, probably 1-2 years or even more. Because why? Because in step 6, you're going to refinance the current loan that you have and then get cash. Okay, how do you do that? You have to wait for the equity of the house to increase. Okay, and in fact, this is exactly the way that I used for my first primary home. Right, I bought a first primary home in Glendale, Arizona. I lived in that for I think for 3 years, and then when the appreciation goes up, I refinance, get the cash. You know what the cash is for, right? And it's for step number 7, which is buy the second house. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Okay, so we have to wait. The reason why the step 6 take a long time, from 5 to 6 take a long time, is that you have to wait for the property value to go higher. And who knows about the market, right? It depends on the market and how fast the home appreciated in the area. Okay, so step 5, step 6, when it is a time, perhaps run by your real estate agent and confirm whether you have enough or not. Okay, you are able to do refinance cash out or not. Okay, now when you cash out, you don't have to cash out 20%. You only need 5%, because why? It's step 7. When you buy the second house, that second house is going to become your primary home. no longer the first house that you buy, right? So you can still repeat the same process using only 5% down, right? You only need 5% from property. And then when you go to step 7, buy the second house, which you will move in, live in as a primary home. And then you know what? You just have your first investment home is your first house with only 5% down. Okay, that simple process. I mean, we talk about that in 20 minutes here, but it's going to take like 2 or 3 years, depending on the situation. Of course, if you have it is in step 6 right here. The purpose of step 6 is that you don't have to save up for more money for your second house, right? If you are able to come up with additional money faster in step 6, then you don't have to wait for the refinance. Okay, just get the cash, just get the cash, and then go buy the second house as a primary home. Okay, so that's the 7 steps on buying the first investment home with only 5% down for the new investor. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Now, of course, if you want a copy of the slide, feel free to send me a text or send me an email or even comment in the video below, and then we're more than happy to share that with you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully, we're going to see you again next show, which is happening on the last month, the last Friday of August as well, on the 25th. Okay. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.